Hello and welcome to the Just for Gamers video game podcast. Episode 50, the Golden Edition. In this week's episode, we are celebrating 50 episodes. JfG Ash gets distracted by a baby. JfG Alex gets a bit annoyed at Out this week. We've played through the Division beta content again. And finally, in this week's quiz, we go to uncharted territories. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
Hello and welcome to the JfG podcast. This is episode 50. My name is Alex and I'm joined as ever by my very good friend Ash. Hey buddy, how's it going? 50 episodes and all that stuff.
Yeah buddy, 50 episodes, half a century, the letter V? Is it V? No, that's 5.
5.
It's close. That's got a 5 in it.
There's a 5 in there.
Well, yeah. I mean, we could have 10 Vs. I mean, X.
That's how it works.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I'm ready. Let's go. I'm ready.
I couldn't help but notice, Ash, that you would you seem to have created some sort of list of other things that are also 50 this year.
It doesn't really work because we're not 50 this year, but it's just the 50th episode. But yeah, other things that are also 50 this year include...
Such a baffling list of things.
Oh, that's what I found, buddy. AstroTurf, 50 this year. I mean,
go on.
I've spent my time on AstroTurf before.
We've all been there, buddy.
It's good. Doritos. They're 50.
Yeah. Nice.
The game Twister.
Solid.
Which I actually played like about 3 hours ago. There you go.
What?
Yeah, I know, right? For some random reason, my son wanted Twister, so we bought him it at the weekend. And yeah, I was playing it earlier today. Little did I know,
because it's super cool, buddy.
This year, 50th anniversary for Twister.
You were like, well, I can't turn him down. not on this momentous occasion.
Indeed. We've got Vans, the skateboarding shoe company.
Like it.
Yeah, nice.
Yep.
Obviously, the Super Bowl.
Oh, yeah, well, of course.
I mean, that was 50. The original Batman TV series. Also 50. Wham. The Toyota Corolla is 50, and finally, Star Trek debuted on TV 50 years ago this year. So, you know, I feel like we're in a league.
We're in very good company, definitely. Yeah.
I believe so. So, it's nice to be 50, I guess.
It is. And 50 is, of course, younger these days than it was maybe 50 years ago. There's something succinct about that, buddy. But I have to say, this is a momentous day. 50 episodes in just over a year. So, listeners, are the other podcasts you listen to so regular? Are they so comforting? Are they always there for you like we are? Are you not entertained?
It's so true. Who knows?
We're very regular, and of course, it's important to be regular. So yeah, wonderful stuff. And we're picking up all sorts of people along the way. Things are looking bright and everything's coming up Millhouse, buddy. The community's really building momentum as well. So.
Up to 17 today.
Ooh,
big numbers.
It really is.
Very aroused.
I mean, I've seen other podcasts with PlayStation communities who have like thousands and thousands of listeners more than us, and only like a few dozen more community members, so you know
it's an odd one. I guess that our fans are just, you know, super dedicated.
Better, they're just better.
they are better.
So, on this momentous week, I'm sure you've probably been travelling around this earth with a big beaming grin on your face, but what have you been up to, buddy? Anything interesting?
I went back to work. Yes! I love work.
Oh, yeah.
Big fan of working. Yeah. So that was good. I got... I have ordered the original Dark Souls. I think it's the Ultimate Edition or something.
Ooh!
For free, buddy.
How is this possible?
I believe if you go on to the Golden Joystick website, they have some offer on there. They seem to do it like every year, and they'll give away something for free. And this year it's Dark Souls on Steam. So I've got to wait apparently 7 days for my key to get delivered. So hopefully, fingers crossed, I get that and probably never play it, which would be good.
Well, that's lovely. That's is that still going? Because I want to get in on that as well.
Yeah, it's running till the 31st of March. So when our listeners are listening to this sometime next week, they should still be able to get it, which is good news.
Isn't that good of us to do that?
I'm so helpful. I mean, I would give you a link or something, but, maybe we'll tweet it out later or something. Who knows?
Maybe we will.
And finally, I've bought some D&D, buddy.
The D&D?
The D&D.
Are we talking physical D&D here or some sort of video game?
No, we're talking PDFs, right? I believe. I haven't downloaded them yet.
The rules and character sheets and stuff.
Yes, like the whole beginner's guide to D&D by Pathfinder, which I've always been interested in D&D, buddy. You know this from me, from my RPG ways. And Humble Bundle. Last week we're doing... pay like $1 or whatever and get like the whole beginner's guide, like digital edition and loads of other stuff. They were selling like the boxed version for $30 and I was like, oh, I'm so buying that. But unfortunately shipping to Europe was another like $60 on top. So I was like, I'm good. I'll just buy that from a shop if I really like it. So I've got some reading up to do, I believe.
How do you intend to move forward in your D&D ways then, buddy? Are you going to start some sort of D&D Club of North or something up your way?
I doubt it. I also researched like online D&D and there's quite a lot of different software that can be used, but apparently Tabletop Simulator, buddy, it's all about D&D on there. Not all of it, but that's another way of doing D&D. So we could D&D, buddy.
Tabletop Simulator, of course, learnt about by us from our good Canadian friend Michael Strong.
Indeed. And I don't know. Like, if any of you guys know anything about D&D, like, let me know, because I know nothing. I don't know where to start. Like, but I'm gonna do some reading. I mean, if you guys don't like D&D and just call me a geek, that's fine. I don't mind.
I feel like Funk's gonna be getting back to us calling you a geek after our geek name calling of his card stuff.
That's fine.
A week or two ago. So that's probably coming your way. But yeah,
I'll allow that. He can stick to his silly card game.
Yeah.
Apart from that, buddy, I've been playing a shit ton of games, as you can see from my list. Which is,
you do.
What?
It's quite extensive stuff there.
Yeah, I know. That happened. Apart from that, other stuff happened, but I can't remember it. So what have you been doing, buddy?
I've been doing absolutely bollocks all, quite frankly.
Nice.
I literally cannot think of a single thing that I have done since the last time we recorded a podcast. I went out for a meal, but I do that quite a lot. I think podcast listeners have noticed I do that quite
you eat
quite a fair bit.
Yeah.
Well, I go out to dinner a lot, and I went out at the weekends to a lovely Spanish tapas place in Maidstone.
Oh,
town of
lovely,
your birth.
mate. Yeah, I wasn't born there. What are you on about?
Town of your not birth, but where you lived for ages.
For 10 years, yeah.
Yeah, that'll do. Yeah, close enough.
Yeah.
But it it was really weird because it was in a synagogue. So it was in a converted synagogue.
Yeah,
and
it.
The bottom floor, where all the presumably pews or whatever the fuck that stuff is, was an Indian buffet restaurant.
Okay.
And then upstairs, because there's you got the upstairs, you'd have the pews either side, and then the sort of atrium in the middle, so that the people upstairs can look down on where the geezer probably would have been conducting whatever ceremony. Was a Spanish tapas restaurant,
nice,
overlooking the Indian buffet.
It's weird.
It was weird. It was really weird.
Though, I guess I like that.
Oh, absolutely, and everyone was having a lovely time.
Good.
It was really good, actually. It was very, very good.
Nice.
But other than a Saturday night out, I've done just fuck all. I've just been playing games, and we've had big releases and betas to get our teeth stuck into and all sorts. So
we've been busy.
I suppose, really, we should head into that well-trodden ground, buddy.
Gibbons, birdie.
Let's have a little look at what we've been playing. So there's an extensive list this week of games that we've been playing, buddy, on both our parts, and I think you've cornered the market here because you've played probably 5 or 6 games with me, but also 5 or 6 games on your own. So I think it's only right that you get the ball rolling here.
Okay, buddy. Well, we'll start off with I went and started playing Firewatch again. I thought, I'll do another playthrough of that.
New and improved Firewatch, of course, with the new patch.
Yes, and that is the main thing that I noticed. The frame rate is a lot more stable now. In areas where I knew it would shit itself, it didn't, which was amazing, which is very good. I'm picking, obviously, all different options this time going through it. I'm just really enjoying it again. It's a beautiful game, and the narrative on it is just... It's excellent. It really is. I mean, it is a walking simulator. I mean, everyone should know that by now. But it's the experience of what happens, and also I really like the ending. Like, looking back at that game, the ending of it was just really truthful. It's not like rewarding at all. It's what would happen, and that's what I liked about it.
Have you found, I'd imagine, and I'm only guessing because I haven't gone back through it properly, I just dipped in to have a quick look at what the patch had done, but I'd imagine the sort of freshness of the dialogue throughout that experience kind of actually makes it really fun to play through again, even though you kind of know what's going to happen because there's all different options there and you can choose when and when not to speak. Are you finding it still sort of just as enjoyable as the first time through?
Yeah, I haven't had any issues like with me being like, oh yeah, let's just get through this bit, come on. There might be a few bits later on where you have to like trek from one side of the thing to the other, and I might be like, oh okay, but at least like I know exactly where I'm going now, so that'll speed things up, I guess. But I read somewhere that you in the whole game you only have to talk to what's her name, Dahlia, like 4 times, I believe. Which is quite
You can just
funny.
Ignore her completely. Yeah.
So yeah.
Very cool that they made it so you could do that.
Definitely. It's a very cool game.
Nice.
After that, I went back to The Witness and tried to do the time challenge for about 2 hours. And you know what, buddy? Funk that game.
Yeah, I think we've kind of got past the release date of this game long enough now that it has become kind of common knowledge to most people that when you finish this game there's a sort of optional extra that you can do at the end, which is just devilishly awfully difficult. And I think, judging by the platinum, I think the platinum still sits at like 0.2 or something like that. Most people cannot be fucked with this thing.
I got to the very last one with like 5 seconds to go, and I was like, fuck you. It was so annoying.
Bit of a bridge too far there. Yeah, I mean, I'd say, unlike Firewatch, I think The Witness is a game that I couldn't see myself going back to, really.
No,
the wonder of learning the puzzles and stuff. It's just, if you're going through it a second time round, then you're basically going, oh, I can't remember how I learned how to do this one.
Yeah,
and it'd just be frustrating.
I had a phase about the first 20 minutes where I was like, what does this puzzle mean?
It's more annoying because you know that you knew at one point.
Yeah, definitely.
Rather than just not knowing at all. Yeah. But I don't fancy it, to be honest.
I don't think I'm going to go and get the platinum on that. Like, I thought I gave it a good shot and I got so close, but I'm just like, no, I can't be arsed with that. Because it's like, I know I can do the puzzles. It's just, meh, I'm good, thanks. Like, I got that far. I'm happy with that.
Yeah, that was where that game fell down for me, really, was the where I got to the stage where I knew what I was doing, but literally couldn't be fucked to do it. And that was the problem. So, yeah, that was it.
Gibbons, buddy. Next, we played some Battlefront, if you remember.
I do vaguely remember this happening, yes, buddy.
I think it was after last week's podcast. We were like...
Yeah, I tend to have had a few beers by that point, so I'll probably be a bit hazy on the subject. But yes, I do remember that, actually. It was really good. It's always really good. That game's always really fun.
It is, and they've added some new maps and stuff to it, so that's always handy. I think they added some this week as well. I can't tell you what they are, but if you're interested, find out, I guess.
I bloody will.
Yeah, still really enjoying that game. I want to play it more, but obviously some certain game has just come out that's probably just going to sap up my life from now on. But hey,
I don't think that's a bad thing, though. I think by the time we want to go back to Battlefront, we'll have like the option to probably get some sort of light discount on DLC packs and that sort of thing. Yeah, that'd be cool. I'll be in a big way, I mean. That. So, yeah. I mean, we're definitely going to want to go back when they start releasing like the Death Star and, you know,
yeah, definitely.
Cloud City and
I need
stuff.
to get involved on that. Yeah. My son, okay, obviously I've got him a PS4 controller, a blue one, but the PS4 controllers are quite large. They are adult-sized controllers, yeah? And he struggles to get his fingers around the back and get to the thumbsticks. My son's 5, by the way, just to let you know. So I bought a old like PS3 wide controller, and this isn't for the PS4. This is for the PC, because for some reason Sony haven't allowed third-party companies to make any kind of peripherals for their PS4 console, which I think is really dumb. Because on the Xbox One, you can get like the mini controller, and that is like perfect size for his little hands. And yeah, this PS3 controller, it was only like 10 quid off Amazon, I think it was where I got it. It fits in his hands perfectly, and like we were playing like loads of PC games on this, and he was loving it. And we ended up getting Lego Marvel Avengers, I think that's what it's called. Anyway, the new Marvel Lego game. And like he went bananas on it. Like he could actually play this game properly now. Like you're like pulling like the triggers and stuff behind him, and like holding the controller well, like in his hands, and being able to move the sticks. He was a bit confused while like, even though it was a PS3 controller, it was in the shape of like, or the stick layout was the same as a 360.
That's really weird.
I know, right? And like, that's what he said. He was like, why is the thumbstick up there? I'm like, oh, it's because it's an Xbox controller. And then, because it's a PS3 controller, it's got X, circle, square, and triangle. But because it's a PC game, it had the Xbox button, so A, B, X, Y. So he's like, Dad, what's X? I'm like, not that X. You want to press square or whatever. And like, he got it in the end. And yeah, so... Long story short, I played Lego Marvel Avengers, and it's good. It's not bad. It's a bit odd in its dialogue, because in certain parts it's got because it follows the sequence of like the first and second films. I think we are near to the end of the first film now, and it's got dialogue like cut from the film. And then
like literally straight ripped out with the actual... Okay.
Like, I don't know if it's like had like all the background noise taken out or anything, but it is like that sequence like from the film in like Lego format, and the voiceover is the film voiceover. But then later on in the film, when they have like a voice double to do other phrases, and I was like, what is this? So weird.
That is quite strange. I mean, I think I don't know a huge amount about the creation of blockbuster films. Of course I don't. I didn't really need to state that. But as far as I'm aware, they actually do record all of the audio separately and then dub it.
Yeah,
on everything. So I suppose they wouldn't even need to isolate that audio. They could just take it from the studio recording as they've got the license. So
yeah, so I'm guessing that's pretty much what they did.
It's quite cool though, actually.
I like the fact that it's getting like the realism in air quotes,
the authenticity of it.
Yeah, that's the word I'd probably go for. Yeah, not realism, but yeah, authenticity of the license and stuff in there, which is really cool. But also, it kind of threw me off a bit because like the recordings are completely different and it was a bit weird. But overall, there's a shit ton of characters to unlock. Like the levels are good and fun, and it got me to sit down and start watching the first Avengers film with my son because I didn't know if he was old enough or not to watch it. Because like, even though it's like a PG, I was like, it's still a bit scary with like the aliens and shit going on. But I was like, you know what, fuck it, let's do it. And we're probably about halfway through the film, and he's like, yeah, I've done that bit. Yeah, I know what happens next. And I was like, oh, cool. This kind of like makes it a bit easier for him because like he knows that it's not real, and well, he knows what's coming next and stuff. And it was quite funny.
I think all of the classifications, it's difficult for our generation because I think that they've all moved. I feel like they've all shifted. I feel like stuff that's a PG now was a 12 when I was little, and stuff that's a 15 now was an 18 when I was little. Like, I really do feel like I don't know what a film has to do now to get an 18, but the number of 15s I go to where people are getting their brains blown out, and I'm just like, this surely this is ripe for an 18 certificate. But yeah, I can kind of see why you had a bit of trepidation there, but
yeah,
he clearly loves it, and he understands that it's all like bullshit as well because he's a smart kid. So I think, yeah, that's cool though. That's really cool.
Yeah, man. And one more game, don't worry. The final game that I've been playing has been obviously Uncharted 3. Again, and I finished it, buddy. Yay! Completed another game this year.
After all these years, buddy, you finally completed Uncharted 3. So what's the verdict?
Yes, I enjoyed it. I'd say it's on a par with the other two. Like it's got all that action. Some of the like cinematography or whatever is like absolutely fantastic. Like where it all pans out across like these lush landscapes or wherever you are. Like the one that really stuck in my mind was like the shipwreck area. Have you been there yet? Yeah,
I finished it on PS Now, didn't I? So
you did. Yeah, so you have actually. Yeah,
that.
You've already done it. So yeah, that bit where like you're climbing along the boat and it zooms out and you're like, wow, this is awesome. Mm-hmm. Obviously, we discussed like the bad points about it last week, I think, was it?
Yeah, and they're all still there. Control issues and AI issues and all sorts. I mean, this game got a kicking from critics.
Yeah,
like this is one of those games that people really like to hate. You know, so it's interesting to see what you think. Like having played through all of them, especially. I mean, I've played all three of the games back to back, so I can't really see where people were coming from when they were bashing on this game.
Whilst going through it, I was posting some videos and images on Twitter, and JJ, one of our fans, was getting back to me, and he also completed it the other day, and his review was completely maddening and gratifying at the same time, and I think I agree with that, you know.
He's a psycho for doing that. I mean, that must have been incredibly annoying. Like, what difficulty did you play on? Were you on normal?
Yes, I just did it on Manning. Normal, sorry.
Like, the idea of going through that game on crushing when you get to those sections where the controls are letting you down and you pop out of cover for more than like a second and a half and you die, like, Yeah, I mean, he said maddening and gratifying at the same time, and yeah, like I'm the sort of person that would like to give that a go, but whether I've got the actual patience for it, I'm not sure.
Yeah, definitely. But hats off to you.
Yeah, fair play to JJ for doing that.
Yeah, Gibbons. And yeah, that's about me done, buddy. What have you been playing?
Not a lot without you, to be honest. So I've been playing some Rocket League, and I wanted to try out those new maps.
Yeah.
So I actually was playing. I've kind of played them with the AI a couple of times, and then if you remember, was it last night? I was playing them when you went to bed, or the night before. I can't remember now
because we were just playing a certain game last night.
Yeah, so when you went to bed, I played it for like another hour with like all strangers online.
Oh, cool!
With the new maps, and it really puts a very interesting twist on things. These maps are very, very interesting, and I think we definitely need to go back there now.
Okay.
I was still doing the thing where I was flying past the ball before it arrived because it's floatier than I thought. But yeah, I mean, I'd heard people talking about the one that's on 2 levels.
Yeah, I've heard about that.
In my head, I had like a multi-story car park type thing.
I was just thinking like Mario Kart 64 Battle Arena, you know, the one that's on multiple tiers, something like that.
It's actually like if you imagine a normal Rocket League field and then put a couple, like turn it into a valley with 2 hills either side that you can drive along the top of.
Yeah.
So it's like that basically.
Okay.
So it is on 2 tiers, but the top tier is just 2 platforms that run lengthways all the way down either side of the map.
So you're saying it's not on a single tier?
Single tier. You can also kind of do a sort of half pipe drive around above the goal. The one that I thought was most interesting was it's basically if you imagine like a circle, and then there's the circle's cut into quarters, and then in one quarter you've got both goals. So literally like the 2 90-degree angles, it's like a segment.
Yeah.
So you've got the goals, sort of one of them horizontally, one of them vertically, and then the ball is in the other 3 quarters, and you can drive around, but you can also take a shortcut through the goals to go and get the ball. And that one is really interesting. Like,
I bet that throws all kinds of different kind of shit in the...
It's so weird, because you've already kind of built up how you defend on Rocket League and what tactics you employ for 2v2, 3v3.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you can employ tactics for 4v4, but you know what I mean. And then suddenly you're in a position where you're having to think about which way to go round, like clockwise or anti-clockwise. How can you help
gonna be quicker,
the bounce of the ball? Like, you can think that you're clearing the ball and you're actually bouncing it straight over your own head. Like, it very interesting, but a really nice twist.
Nice. That
so yeah,
good.
The only other thing I've been playing without you is more PES. My Bristol City side. I have just done the treble for the first time on that game with Bristol City. So I've gone from the bottom of the championship to promotion to winning the Premier League, Champions League and FA Cup. So that's the kind of full whack, and I'm thinking about maybe starting a new career on there. But I still think that the big benefit over PES, over FIFA, by playing PES is that you get these reborn players. So the majority, my team, I've now got like 19-year-old Totti and 20-year-old John Terry and Perlo, and I just think like the way that FIFA works, where sort of 6 seasons into your career, all the players are just generated. Like, it just wrecks it. Just there's no reason to keep playing. So that's been fun. Looking forward to that Euros update for that as well.
Ooh, when's that again?
24th, I think. That's off the top of my head. Don't quote me on that. But yes, 24th of March.
Then.
Not too far away at all. So yeah, other than that, buddy, I've been playing everything that you have been playing. So I suppose we should probably talk about The Division, shouldn't we? That's kind of the big...
Yeah, I guess so.
This week.
That came out on Tuesday, and this is Wednesday, so we've had an evening. Well, you had you started it off at midnight, didn't you, for a couple of hours?
Yeah, I played it at launch before it came out in the States and all the servers went down. I played it for a couple of hours, so that was nice.
We mainly jumped into it last night for... I ended up playing for about 5.5 hours, which was nice.
Yeah.
Not bad for an evening, I must say. But yeah, thoroughly enjoying it, even though we've pretty much just done the exact same stuff for the third time.
Yeah, we've just about cleared the stuff that we did in the beta and are likely to do it for a fourth time with PJ on Friday.
Yes.
But yeah, it's great. It's got so much potential. The only thing I'm not sure about is longevity here, but all of the concerns that I had, no, it's launched reasonably well. The servers have kind of been a little on and off for the first day or two, but I think that there's some stability really creeping in there now.
You seem to find a way to rectify that, didn't you? Being kicked from the server.
Yeah, it was doing a thing where you'd be halfway through some sort of combat scenario and you'd try to shoot your weapon and it wouldn't fire. And that's how you know you're about to be kicked. And I found that I was kicked like 4 or 5 times in the first sort of couple of hours that the servers were running. And I found that if when you have realized that you might possibly be kicked, if you just stop moving, like put the controller down and everything, for some reason it's almost like you're suddenly not stressing the servers anymore, and it lets you stay in favor of someone who's kind of being more demanding to it. I don't know. I mean, that's a really sort of organic way of looking at it that probably isn't true at all. But for some reason or another, if you're about to be kicked, just stop moving, and more often than not, it won't kick you. But hopefully those problems, by the time this podcast goes out, those problems won't really be there anymore.
I'm just having such fun with it, and I can see myself doing it way too much now, this game. I'm surprised that there's some sort of storyline. I don't know why. I didn't expect it at all.
It's because you're a Destiny fan. You're like, what the fuck is this? What's this?
What am I watching? What?
Why do I know what people are called? What's going on?
Diseases and shit. Fuck off. People are poorly or dying or whatever. I got to save the day. That's all I need to know. I'm here.
It's getting very favourable comparisons to that Destiny launch because, I mean, for one thing, Destiny, the way that Destiny claimed it was going to be this sort of open world that you could explore with lots and lots of other people, and then when the game came out, it was kind of meet at the tower and then go off in threes and wander around picking up fucking, I don't know, helium filaments or whatever. Nice. Whereas this is just a massive city, and there's something really fun about wandering about. Like, I really enjoy just wandering around, and for the couple of hours I played it without you in the middle of the night, I just wasn't getting bored. I was just wandering about. It's such a detailed environment.
Thing, wasn't it? Like, we were quite happy just mooching about like New York and being like, this is really nice. And then, oh, there's some bad guys. Let's take them down, you know. Let's, what was it? We had to find, like, lost agents or some bollocks, which was just following 5 points and being like, yep, done that. That was a bit weird. But, like, the protecting the loot drop things, that was, like, a nice little side mission. And, yeah, really enjoying it, buddy. It's pretty much awesome so far.
I think as well, it's the first time for a very long time, probably since Destiny as well, and this isn't really, there's a lot of comparison between the two. This isn't really to do with them, but this is the first time, probably since the console launched, where I look down my friends list and everyone is playing the same game.
Yeah, totally.
It's been a long time. I think I had 14 friends, bearing in mind I only have about 20 friends on my friends list, because up until very recently I haven't been adding people I don't know in real life. But I had like 14 friends online and 10 of them were playing The Division. And it's been a while since something's come out and everyone's like, yeah, like no matter how much I play games, no matter how much I'm willing to spend on games, I'm fucking getting that, and I'm getting that the day it comes out. You know, a lot of people,
Yeah, totally.
a lot of excitement and reasons to be cheerful, I think, because I feel like this thing's delivering, and how often can we, you know, bash studios for not delivering, especially when something's hyped so much. Like, it's amazing that I'm not disappointed. I just assumed that I would be, along with everything that's been overhyped for the last few years. But no, I'm really enjoying myself. And yeah,
Gibbons, buddy. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think there's really much else to talk about with the Division for now, because I think we just need to play it more and more, and then we can
definitely
talk about like all the different missions and stuff like that. But for now, so far so good, buddy.
Definitely. So let's move on from a massive game that has just arrived to one that is mere weeks away now, isn't it? Like less than a month away, and has recently had a beta. This is Uncharted 4, the multiplayer beta, and this was over the weekend, last weekend. And what are your thoughts on the Uncharted 4 multiplayer beta, buddy?
It looks very pretty, I must say.
Looks very nice for something that runs 900p, doesn't it?
Yeah, I know, right?
We know what Xbox players, we know what their experience is like now, so that's nice.
Yeah, indeed. I don't fancy Uncharted as a multiplayer game, I must say. It's definitely more of a single player game. I don't really like the kind of slugginess of it. I mean, it worked well with The Last of Us because it was a very slow paced game, which is what you want in that kind of like one life, you know, scenario. Whereas this, it's meant to be fast paced, like lots of action, and I just don't feel like it's a good fit for an online multiplayer.
I think that's fair, man. I was talking to Funk about this. We were playing it for a little while before you came on game night, and I think the weird thing about it is if things had been a little different this year, if I hadn't got back into playing competitive multiplayer like we have done, then it's entirely possible that I would have actually been very impressed by this. Having played the Nathan Drake collection, obviously, I'm not looking for a multiplayer experience specifically in an Uncharted game. I'm looking for the bombastic Hollywood single player experience, and I'm looking forward to that, and I still am. And yes, it looks nice, and the combat's better than the old games, and so on. But as someone who is now regularly playing PvP stuff on, granted first-person shooters, probably some Dark Zone stuff in the Division as well. I'm used to better multiplayer. I'm used to games designed for multiplayer now, and that has made this feel far less relevant to me than it probably would have done. So I just could, even though I had the Uncharted 4 multiplayer beta sitting on my console all over the weekend, and I could have been playing it, I just didn't give a fuck. Like, I just didn't care. Like, I was like, yeah, you know, it's not why I want it, and it was fine. It's fine. I thought it was a bit weird the way that it's got all of these kind of area of effects, like mystical being power-ups and stuff. That's a bit strange. I think I preferred, and I think, as you say, like the way that Uncharted plays with the cover system and everything is far more suited to the slow stealthiness of The Last of Us rather than a sort of all action swinging from vines type thing. It's cool. I don't think they're phoning it in necessarily, but at the same time, it's not why I want the game, and I don't expect in 6 months' time to be sitting here saying, oh, you know, as usual, been tucking into Uncharted multiplayer. But yeah, I mean, I've seen a lot of people have said that they really like it. I've seen a lot of praise online, so fair enough. But it's not what we want it for, is it? Really?
No, definitely not. I just want it for the sweet storyline, pretty much.
Gibbons, buddy, full-blown Gibbon.
Yeah.
So moving on, I appear to have done a reasonable job of encouraging you to download and play Injustice, something I've been tucking into recently, and you've had a bit of a go this week, haven't you, of that game?
Yeah, I played a bit. I think it was mainly just waiting for the Division to download. I think that was the night, wasn't it, where we were just like, I just want to play the Division, come on.
Yeah, yeah.
So I was like, you know what, like, this guy's always on about this crap, so I'll give it a go. And it was okay, it was fine, not great. Very simple, but, you know, I'm sure there's lots of advanced stuff, like... I couldn't really get the combos going, so I'd have to like learn more, but I don't know if I want to put any more time into it. I think it's a good pick up and play kind of fighting game or beat 'em up. I don't know what they're called now. You know, I'm just out of touch.
It's all changed. I don't know. Maybe I don't hear the term beat 'em up bandied about anymore. So
true.
I think that's more kind of reserved for like sort of Streets of Rage-esque games now. But yeah, no, I don't know why I've played so much of this game. I don't think it's anything particularly special. I think it's a really nicely put together game. Like it you can see that it's very early in the generation. It's quite ropey looking by current standards, and suffers from the fact that Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat came out 2 years later and look far better than it. But for me, none of those things matter to me. Like, it looks better than Soul Calibur on the Dreamcast, buddy. So it's the best fighting game I've ever owned.
It's not bad that the fact that it was like part of the PS Plus subscription, which was very nice, I must say. I have no idea what's going on in this storyline, by the way. If there no idea. There seems to be 2 of everyone, and we're in, I don't know, some kind of weird dimension. So like I don't know, I haven't got that far into it. So is there like a good Joker then? No. From what I can deduce, there wasn't a good Joker, but one of the Jokers is dead. Okay. And the alternate reality Joker is helping Batman and the good guys against evil Superman. Oh. I'm so not interested. Evil Superman became evil because he was convinced to do something that killed Lois Lane. And he's gone mental. Like he's lost his shit. And it's really weird for me because I think like all superhero stuff's really dumb, and and the most of this game is equally sort of cheesy and corny and dumb, and then occasionally there'll be a cutscene where Superman like literally murders someone. Just murders someone on the screen, like shamelessly. And you're like, this is kind of, this isn't really in keeping with the tone of this experience. Talking about the cutscenes though, buddy, they are shocking. Honestly, it was affecting to me a character that I'm actually quite a fan of. And Superman blew ice into his mouth and then used his laser eyes to burn through his skull. Jesus. I was like, wow. Christ. This is like fucking Dark Souls or something. But mainly I was talking about just the quality, like the animation and that. It's PS3. This is a PS3 game upscaled to PS4. It was a launch title. It's not surprising in that respect. True. It's not a looker, but it plays really nice in the actual game fighting engine itself. It's just that sort of CGI cam that it cuts to for cutscenes is not pretty. But I don't know if I'm getting better at it. I feel like I am because I seem to be winning all my fights on medium difficulty now, whereas when I first started I was only winning half of them. But just having fun on it. So nice. Cool. That's what you want. And I guess finally, in this mega bumper edition of what we've been playing, We played some more Broforce, but we did it as a cheeky three-way this time, didn't we, buddy?
Bit of a trio with old Funk, and yeah, so good, man. Such a good game.
Yeah. Seriously, a hell of a lot of fun, that. Really good.
Yeah, I think we kind of covered everything about it before, but we need to get 4 people on there because that'll be really fun as well. It gets quite hectic when it's 3. I found myself losing sight of my character occasionally and mistaking him for someone else kind of thing.
Yeah, I died a lot. And we seem to kill each other a lot as well. Yeah,
and the slowdown is real, buddy. I mean, Jesus.
Yeah, definitely.
Nasty stuff going on there, but...
Yes, it definitely is. But yeah, so far I'm still enjoying that game, and I think we'll probably play a bit more.
Gibbons, but no time soon, because we're just going to be playing wall-to-wall Division for weeks, I'd imagine.
Yeah, busy.
Gibbons, buddy. And now it's time for the news.
The news.
The news.
The news.
The news.
Fucking news.
All right. Number one. Wang. Star Fox has a release date. That release date is April the 22nd.
Ooh.
So that's not long.
What's it coming out on?
It's coming out on the Wii U.
No.
Number 2. The Doom beta also has a date. That is going to be the 31st of March. And you can head over to the Doom website and put your... Is it Wolfenstein code in?
Yep, Wolfenstein, buddy.
Which I believe is a code that you have because you bought a second-hand copy of that game and therefore have a code.
Yes, I do. Thank you very much, whoever left that code in there for me.
Beautiful stuff. Well, that's going to be cool then.
Gibbons, I can't wait. Should be a good giggle, that, and I'm guessing because it's going to be... Oh, it is a closed beta, so I don't know. We should be able to talk about it, I guess. I mean, loads of people have talked about the game already, so it's fine.
Yeah, we'll see. I'm sure it will sort of one way or the other. It'll say explicitly whether it's under NDA or whatever. But I mean, that game's not far away from being released now, and there's plenty of video kicking about. So I wouldn't expect it to be under NDA. We shall see. Speaking of release dates, buddy, we have the release date for Overwatch as well. This is Blizzard's first-person MOBA that has been in early access or at least alpha on the PC for some time. This is coming out on the 24th of May.
I'm very much looking forward to this, buddy. And don't forget, there is some sort of open beta as well. I believe May the 6th or something?
No, that's correct, buddy. 6th of May. Early access available to people who pre-order that thing on the 3rd of May. The 3rd of May, funnily enough, also the day that the Battleborn beta goes live, which is Gearbox's equivalent of a first-person MOBA. Randy Pitchford coming out this week saying... shit just got real. I say, fuck that guy. He's a douchebag.
Fair dues, buddy. Fair dues.
Yeah, happily calling out that guy as a douchebag
very much
on the
looking
internet.
Forward to that game. Very much. It's fine. I'll allow it.
A douchebag. Next. It's all release dates this week, by the way. No Man's Sky.
I mean, that means, like, surely that out this week should just be, like, empty.
Well, there's some bits and bobs. No Man's Sky gets a release date. This is going to be the 24th of June in the UK. It will be a full price release. That price has angered lots of people, none of whom have played the game, all of whom are fucking idiots. So there we go. It's there's just like a massive like internet hate campaign. This is an indie game, so it can't be AAA price apparently, even though no one's played it or knows how long it is or very much about it at all. Now, some of the reasons that no one knows about it is because I think Hello Games have been quite shit at telling people what it is and how it works and stuff.
That happened.
But at the same time, the idea that you'd get angry about the price of a game long before it's released is quite funny. So
yeah, it's a bit strange.
I don't know how are you feeling about No Man's Sky at this point, buddy? Like, we've known about it for some time, and it's certainly been the hype surrounding it. Is it something that you're interested in at all?
It's been a game where we've known nothing about it for such a long time, but I've still been like vaguely intrigued. It definitely went off my radar because like everyone was just like, yeah, you just go around the universe, don't you? Visiting planets. I'm like, well, that doesn't sound that great. But now, like, people have had these, like, 30-minute, like, preview events or whatever it was in Los Angeles.
Yeah, that happened this week, didn't it?
Yes.
All the major publications. Oh, I didn't get our invite, buddy. Did you?
I know. I haven't checked my email for a few weeks, though, so it might be there.
We'll have to email them apologising for not attending.
Yeah, definitely. I believe so. And, yeah, it seems like a lot more has come out about this game. Like, you have your, like, multi-tool and you can, like, go and break into certain places and learn alien languages and all sorts of things.
There's factions, there's combat,
yes.
All sorts of stuff. I still don't really know. I think the thing that's kind of turned me off and kind of been putting me off from the very beginning is the fact that it isn't a proper multiplayer game. I.e., I can't...
Yeah, just go and buddy up.
Be like, hey, buddy, I'm going to fly my spaceship over to your planet and then we can go exploring. That doesn't seem to be there. And
no, and that also worries me quite a bit.
Yeah, especially for the longevity of it.
Gibbons.
Well, we'll see there, either way. But we will move on for now, and we will move on to Game of the Week, The Division, and its DLC plans have been revealed. This is there's a substantial season pass, which I think was £25 if you bought it with the release, the gold edition.
Yeah, the gold edition.
I think it's £33 if you buy it separately, although I'd imagine that will go down in time.
Yeah, you can get it on CD keys for like £27, I believe, at the moment.
Mm-hmm. We didn't take the plunge. I know some people did, but we just bought the standard release in the end.
It was very close for me, though. I was there on Sunday.
You had a hankering, didn't you?
I really did, you know. I thought in the long run, this is probably going to save me like £5 or £6 or something.
Yeah, and I think, I don't know.
But we don't know. We might get completely bored of this game in like 2 months because the first two of DLC that come out in like May and June or whatever are free. So, you know, we might play them and be like, yeah, this is great. And then after that, not much. I don't know. We shall see.
We shall see. Either way, they've announced they've got there's a few details. I'm not going to go into immense detail. You can find all of this online, but they've gone into some detail about the early expansions. Originally, a lot of this was data mined from the from the packages, the preloaded packages, because I think that's what probably encouraged them to announce the details earlier than they were perhaps going to. But the first expansion is going to be some sort of underground experience where it says it lets a squad of 4 players explore new territory in a post-epidemic New York City underworld.
This is the one with the big fuck-off tank that you have to blow up.
Apparently so, yeah. Some sort of vehicle... Blah-de-blah.
I think in like the data mining it was called like DLC like 01, like smash the tank or something about tank. kill the tank or something like that. Yeah.
The second pack is going to be a survival pack. Players will have to try and survive in a hostile environment that will challenge even the most hardcore Division players.
Which I've been led to believe I don't know if this is true or not, but apparently the entirety of New York becomes the dark zone. And it becomes just PvP. I'm guessing you can turn this on and off.
Sounds interesting.
I don't know. I mean, the thing is, I played quite a bit of the dark zone in the open beta. I think it was, not the closed one. And I really quite enjoyed it, to be honest. It seemed to be like you could find some people that weren't complete dickheads and weren't there just to do you over. And then when someone did attack you, then, you would all attack them, kind of thing. So, I don't know, maybe if everyone's out to survive and, there's a way of doing it where you haven't got to kill each other, it might work, but probably not.
It sounds interesting either way. I mean, having said that, the idea that a paid-for expansion's only function would be to turn a map that already exists into PvP, that'd be pretty weird if that was what you were paying for.
But I mean, the size of that map is ridiculous. To have
it would
that
be
as
mental
PvP area. It'd be
I saw
silly.
a video this week of someone comparing the map sizes, and he came to the conclusion that in terms of density and verticality, this map is as big as Fallout 4. Which I think would surprise a lot of people to hear, because it looks a little bit smaller, and then Manhattan's kind of known for being fairly enclosed, but actually in terms of detail and stuff and travel times, you're talking Fallout size world here, which is incredibly impressive and awesome to walk around.
Yeah, definitely.
The third and final expansion of I suppose Season 1 would be it's just called Last Stand, and I've heard rumours of a dark presence coming up from the underground.
The Sith.
It sounds like zombie mode, frankly.
Okay.
But it could be the Sith.
Oh dear.
So yeah, I don't know. Time will tell as to whether that season pass is worth getting or not, but it's certainly, well, I was going to say it's certainly not going to go up in price. Here's looking at you, Bethesda, but we shall see, buddy, either way.
Gibbons.
So let's move on. Let's move on to underwhelming news, and that underwhelming news is that Dead Island Definitive Edition is coming to PS4, Xbox One, and PC in May. This is going to include a full remaster of the original game and also a remaster of Dead Island Riptide.
Great.
Yeah, I mean, we had loads of fun on the original Dead Island. It was like a B movie. It was like playing a B movie. But I can't help but think that studio's kind of moved on now, and this is kind of almost a slightly unfortunate odor kind of following them around. So the idea that this is coming out,
I mean, I have no intention of playing those games again. They had their time and their place, and yeah, like you say, the original Dead Island, it came out at that perfect time where everyone was gagging for some sort of AAA release, and this filled that void for a few weeks until, well, your Call of Duties and everything started churning out, I guess, didn't it?
Yeah, I mean, the idea that you would buy a remastered version of Dead Island when you could buy Dying Light, which also has 4-player co-op.
Totally.
And it is cheap as well.
Yeah.
I don't know. Either way, it's happening. So there you go. So let's move on to, this is very early for PS Plus information, buddy. Not used to this. Right? So this is Armature Studios' Dead Star. It will be one of next month's PS Plus titles. This is a multiplayer twin-stick shooter. The news broke when a user on the PlayStation Store pre-ordered the title. I think it was chucked on there by mistake, the option to pre-order it, and received a notification saying that the game will be PS Plus and here is a refund, basically, which is cool, actually. I've often wondered about that. Obviously, people who buy games that are already on the store and are going into PS Plus probably aren't so lucky, but
yeah, but that's the thing, you buy a game when you want to play it. Like, I mean, we could all just sit there and be like, nah, I'm just going to wait until it goes on PN Plus, but, you know, it might not go on there. And, like, I was on, I think it was Hot UK Deals earlier, and some guy was like, oh, yeah, I'm voting this cold because, you know, like, I bought, I think it was, like, Tekken or some Tekken, like, back in the day, and then, the next day I went on PS Plus. I tried to get a refund, but I couldn't. I'm like, well, you wouldn't get a refund because, one, that game's already out, and two, it was your choice to buy it on that day. You didn't have to, you know. It's what it is.
I'm with you. Yeah, I think you pay your money, you take your choice. I think it's fair enough.
Yeah, totally.
But it's nice that they did that anyway with something that hasn't come out yet. I think that's fair game as well. So either way, this game looks really cool. You can look up gameplay footage on YouTube, which is what I did before we recorded this. And yeah, lots of space stuff from Sony at the moment, but this looks good fun. I think the thing that's really interesting about this, obviously Galaxy came out this month, and I've been enjoying tucking into that, but this is multiplayer. This has got deathmatch stuff, so that could be really fun and quite manic, so that'd be cool.
Gibbons, buddy. Should be a bit of a giggle.
Fact. So next in the news, we have Microsoft, who seem to be in the news a lot recently, not always for good reasons.
No, for some reason.
And the big news out of Microsoft HQ this week is that they have permanently closed Lionhead Studios. This is a studio founded by Peter Molyneux. They've released, famous for the Fable games, but also stuff like Black and White and Populous, the beginning back in the day, games that I loved. And they've closed that studio down with very little warning and very little notice, seemingly to both us and the people who work there, judging by their forums the night that they went. But this has started some sort of what I like to call the Microsoft murder spree, buddy, because they've also closed Press Play, and they've deleted a selection of studios off of their website as well, and have yet to announce whether or not those have closed as well. Studios including Big Park, LXP, Function Studios, SOTA, and Good Science. Those have all disappeared off of the Microsoft website. I can't confirm what's happened to those at the time of recording, so we'll have to leave it at that for now.
You notice how most of them are ones that dealt with Kinect, buddy?
Yes, it has not escaped my attention that they seem to be closing a load of studios that were dealing with Kinect, which is, in a sort of distressing way, quite amusing, because I imagine the bulk of those studios were forced to work on projects involving Kinect and have now paid the ultimate price for doing so, which is pretty fucking awful, quite frankly. Lionhead included, of course, with their Fable Kinect game that no one ever wanted, and as far as I know, was far better than it probably should have been, but... yes, I don't know. Of course, Fable Legends was the game that Lionhead have been working on for several years. That's been canned, that's gone. So we've seen that at the last couple of E3s. So, yeah. I don't know, man.
Dear.
What do you reckon?
It's not good, is it, really? It's not good news. I mean, these games companies have been around for, well, some of them quite a long time, you know. And... yeah, I don't know. It's one of those things. I mean, did you ever really get into Fable that much back in the day?
Not really. I played quite a lot of Black and White. Populous, the beginning, was a game that I loved. And
I'd say Black and White for me was the big one.
Black and White was cool. That was a really amazing game at the time. I think a lot of people upgraded their PCs for that one.
Yeah, definitely.
Pretty mental. Yeah, I mean, it's all a bit weird from Microsoft at the moment. Meanwhile, this week, talking about like firefighting from old Mr. Spencer himself, he's been defending their idea of the universal Windows applications. I think it was the CEO of Epic came out saying it's just Microsoft making a play to like lock down the software market and fuck everyone over. I'm paraphrasing there, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's also they also have been dealing with a lot of questions about that speech he gave about UWAs, where people were speculating about perhaps Xbox Ones that could be launched that you could upgrade yourself. They've dismissed that this week, saying they're not planning on releasing something that is modular, for example, or you could buy a new graphics card for or anything like that. So it's all a bit of a mess, to be honest. For a company of that size, for a company that we have felt has been recovering from a terrible start by focusing on games and getting the consumer back on side, it's hard to see what they're trying to fucking do at the moment, and it's all very difficult to understand. I feel like every time we record a podcast at the moment, I have to assign half an hour to just read up on what Microsoft are doing.
Yeah, definitely.
So I can try and understand, you know?
Yeah, what the fuck is going on, yeah.
Confusing. But
yeah, maybe we'll just have like some sort of Microsoft section. Who knows?
Yeah, optional Microsoft section.
Yeah. Oh dear.
So let's move on anyway, and we'll move on to our final story of the week, which is a good bit of news, I think. This is a UK piece of news. We're finally getting a legitimate games chart.
Shit.
We've been dealing for some time, like since digital software became prevalent, we have not had a reliable chart that combines physical and digital sales to tell you actually what's going on in the market.
Brilliant.
It's taken all this time.
Because every game that we buy is digital.
Yes, exactly. So you see the charts every week and you're like, that may or may not be relevant to me in the slightest. I don't know. Anyway, GfK and Superdata are two UK companies that deal with metrics and statistics, and they have come together to combine physical and digital sales to form a monthly chart. So finally, we will have a video game chart that is relevant in 2016, which is good. Can only be a good thing.
Hopefully.
So there we go. Not much else to say about that one. Yeah, just looking forward to seeing that first time round when we see, because presumably, you know, there'll be sort of indies in there, and it should be very interesting for someone who's a bit geeky like we are.
Indeed, buddy. Unfortunately.
And that is the news. And now it's time for Fonz or Phoenix.
So what have we got this week, buddy? A Fonz or a Phoenix?
Right, I've been dreading this all week, frankly, because I don't want to be angry, I just want to be measured. And it's difficult to be measured when you feel like you've been wronged. So
I feel like I've been wronged, buddy.
I know that you do, but we're going to take a measured approach here because we are professionals. So that's what's going to happen.
Yep.
So let me tell you a tale, dear listener. You may remember from last week that we were reminiscing about some wonderful top-down races that we had played over the years, the likes of Micro Machines. We were singing the praises of a little-known indie game on the Xbox 360 called Little Racers Street. And I mentioned to Ash that I had noticed there was one of these sorts of games on the PlayStation Store at the moment, and that game was called BlazeRush. And I suggested that we should look into that game and possibly spend some money on it. So
£7.99 of money.
Indeed. So I got to game night this week. Every Friday we have game night with Funk and PJ, sometimes Pete, sometimes Mark, sometimes other people as well. And I brought up
maybe you, if you're lucky.
If you're kicking about, then who knows, buddies. But I brought up BlazeRush once again, something I feel a little sorry for now, and suggested that we fork out the cash. Now, several of us did that, including one Mr. Ash here, And we loaded up BlazeRush and found that the servers weren't working. And then I did some digging online and found that there were issues with the servers dating back as far as December, shortly after the game was launched, and the developer Targum Games didn't seem to be supporting the servers anymore. They hadn't given any warning or notice that the servers weren't going to work, and the PlayStation Store still said network players 2 to 8, but there was no way of us playing it, and the game was useless to us because we couldn't play it online. So, first thing to say is if you're buying BlazeRush, planning on playing it online, do not do that because you can't. Which brings us round to the saga as it is at the start here right now, where Ash has emailed Sony and asked for a refund. Sony have come back and said no, because you launched the game, but if you get a reference code from Targum Games having brought up the issue with them, then we can move forward from there. Ash has then emailed Targum Games asking for said reference, and I presume up until this point, buddy, you have not heard anything back from them.
So far, I have not heard anything back via the contact support, but I did send them a message on Facebook, a private message, obviously saying, "Hi, where's my money?" You know, that kind of thing. And they came back saying pretty much the exact same response as we found to everyone else on the internet, and that is "Good day!" Actually, we are working on solving this problem, and we are going to present an update as soon as it's ready. So they are officially saying it's broken, which I see from that. So I don't see why I can't take that to them and be like, look, this game is broken, and I know they're trying to work on it, but I don't care. I want it now.
So this is where the problem lies. All the time that Targum Games claim they are working on a fix, PlayStation can say you are not eligible for a refund. The license agreement on the PlayStation Store specifically states that a developer or publisher of a game can remove all network capabilities with reasonable notice, and you are not eligible for a refund if they do that. Now, our point of view is that they have removed the servers. The servers have been down, and I've seen messages dating back to last
December.
Year. So we're talking 4-5 months. The servers have been down, and no sign of them coming back up, and lots of very angry people. But until Targum Games put a message saying, okay, you know, we aren't working on this anymore, then everyone's kind of a bit screwed. I suspect we're going to have trouble when you go back to Sony. They'll say the developer has said that they are working on the games. To a degree, I can see Sony's point of view as well. They couldn't possibly be responsible for maintaining all of the private servers, and this clearly a case where the servers are being leased or are private servers. But at the same time, on the PlayStation Store, it specifically says network players 2 to 8, and that is not something that you can do. So it's difficult. It's very difficult to know quite what's going on here. I don't expect Targum to come back with a reference code for you to Sony.
They won't come back with anything apart from that one response, and I feel like I'm fucked now.
Well, I think, to be honest, like it just further highlights how dangerous it is buying digital software in terms of the rights that you have are incredibly limited. I think if Targum Games hadn't come back at all, which they haven't from your email, and that could possibly be the approach we take with Sony, we go back and say,
I believe so.
Targum have not responded, but it says in the license agreement that they can remove network capabilities with reasonable notice. Not only has there not been any notice, but you're still advertising this game as multiplayer online. Then perhaps we'll get some joy there. I do not know, but we can certainly chalk this one up for a bad experience and a bit of a cautionary tale, I think, on...
Yeah, it's annoying. I don't feel like we should have to, like, research if a game is fucking working or not before we buy it. But then... I don't know.
I mean, the fact that they said
something would
Sony said to you can't have a refund because the game is being launched, and the only way that you would have known that the servers are down is to launch it. They've got you over a barrel. I think, to be honest, it's just going to be incredibly difficult to achieve anything here without lots and lots of work. And both Targem Games and Sony Interactive are probably relying on that fact. But either way, it's a massive fucking phoenix, buddy. Because to be honest, the game looks really cool, and I was really looking forward to playing it. So that's the bottom line, is we're just disappointed because the game looks good. It's reviewed well on Steam, where the PC servers seem stable, and we just can't play it. So it's very disappointing indeed. And I don't think that either the developer nor the publisher perhaps realised that we run a podcast, buddy, so we can continue this
with many fans.
Many fans. We can continue this saga for better or worse over the coming weeks. And
we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it pans out.
We'll keep you posted on correspondence back and forth and see if we can get anywhere.
Yeah, buddy. Sounds like a plan.
And now it's time for Out This Week.
Ooh, we got anything good, like The Division, buddy?
Well, firstly, buddy, Alekhine's fucking gun? Alekhine's gun.
I've heard of Alekhine's gun.
This is a game which it's already featured twice in Out This Week, which is anomalous, because normally when a game features in our section Out This Week, it's kind of in the name. It means it's coming out this week.
It's coming out this week.
Yeah.
Okay.
So for a game to appear in there twice is very rare indeed. Anyway.
I know. So.
This game came out this week. Alekhine's Gun came out last week on PC. Okay. So there's that. There's also the fact that Alekhine's Gun is listed as coming out on PC and Xbox One on the 11th, which you may have noticed is in the past. Apparently, it's not coming out then, even though both Sony and Microsoft are listing it as coming out then. It's coming out on the 24th.
Okay. So it could have got on here 4 times.
It could have got on here 4 times. Nice. 24th, 25th, I don't know. It shouldn't matter to you because if you pop onto Metacritic, which I know isn't the be-all and end-all, you will notice that the top rating that game has received is, I think, a 6 out of 10. And its average Metacritic score is much lower than that. I've read 2 reviews of this game today, a 4 out of 10 on videogamer.com, a 2 out of 10 on Push Square. It's been a very long time since I saw a 2 out of 10, buddy.
It's been a while.
Yes. So to be avoided, it fucked me over in its various delays, and it'll fuck you over if you buy it, so don't buy it. That's Alekhine's Gun, which was out last week.
Is that your official review, buddy?
Yeah, that's why I'm not an official reviewer. Because it is not an official reviewer's job to say, this game will fuck you over, or possibly it is. Maybe that's exactly a reviewer's job. Anyway, we shall move on, and let's move on to EA Sports UFC 2 on the Xbox One and PS4. That is out this week, buddy. It is real fighting for real men or something or other. That's happening.
Sounds good.
We have Marvel Battlegrounds. This is an add-on playset for Disney Infinity, coming out on literally everything apart from the Wii, because it is old. This is coming out on everything. Actually, to be honest, I watched a bit of gameplay of this because I'm not in the loop and I didn't know it was a Disney Infinity play pack without doing some research. This looks like Power Stone, that old beat 'em up on the Dreamcast. It's a Disney Infinity play set, but it's basically like Smash Brothers, from what I can tell. So
that sounds cool.
But with Marvel. So I'd imagine your kid would absolutely adore that, but you'll have to wait till next year.
Over that. Yeah, when it's cheap.
Yeah, that's how you do things.
Can't get those shit on day one releases.
And that is how you teach child value, buddy. That's how you do it.
Yeah, exactly.
Elsewhere, we have Need for Speed is finally launching on the PC with 4K support. Cool.
Awesome.
And also manual gears. Apparently manual gears wasn't an option on that game. So
weird.
Okay. Salt
strange.
and Sanctuary is coming out on the PS4, the PS Vita, and the PC. Widely described as a 2D Dark Souls. It's like a 2D side-scrolling platformer, but with the
Sounds
sort of
terrifying,
horrible difficulty spike of Dark Souls. Quite interested, actually, by that.
Okay.
I'll have a good old look at that, depending on the sort of price point when that launches, because I really like the sound of that, and I saw some video footage that suggested that could be right up my street. So,
okay.
Samurai Warriors 4 Empires is coming out on PS4, PS3, and PS Vita. This is another one of those crazy fighting games where it's on a gigantic map, like that Arslan thing that I tried the demo of fairly recently. So that's coming out. We have Sebastian Loeb Rally Evo. That's coming out on the Xbox One, PS4, and PC. I would strongly advise that you wait until Dirt Rally comes out before you consider buying that. I'm not saying don't buy it. I'm saying wait for the other rally game to come out and then, make your choice.
Decide. Yeah.
At that point.
Well, there is the demo of this on the store at the moment, isn't it?
That's true. Certainly on the PSN store, you can try a demo of Sebastian Loeb Rally Evo, which I found to be a game that needs to run at a higher frame rate than it does. But
definitely.
But that's just me. Senran Kagura Estival Versus is coming out on the PS4 and PS Vita. That is an anime RPG fighting, I don't know. Dungeon of the Endless is out on the Xbox One. This is a top-down tower defense RPG, RTS strategy thing. There are many, many acronyms to describe this game. The best bet is that you pop over to YouTube and just look it up, I think. We have Pokken Tournament, which is some sort of Wii U Pokemon game coming out.
Rip-off, yeah. Sounds like
good stuff. And Shantae and the Pirate's Curse is also coming out on Xbox One, which is a sort of old-school 16-bit side-scroller type thing.
Sounds lovely.
So there we go. It's a detailed and intricate out this week. And they are all out this week, buddy. Unless Alekhine's gun is systematically removed from sale, gets some sort of new release date next week. I don't know. It could happen. It could happen.
Who knows? It could happen.
And now it's time for the JfG Top 5.
Just for gamers, top 5.
What's the top five this week, buddy?
Well, I gotta say, buddy, when I started up The Division for the first time the other night, I really, really liked the way that you were introduced to your character. There's a really slick intro, which reminded me of probably a better intro than that Brad Pitt DayZ film, to be honest, or War Z or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah.
They're all kind of, Anyway, aside from all of that, I mean, that was really interesting, and I liked the sort of live action stuff that they did there. But then when you actually hit the game engine for the first time, it loads up behind your character that you haven't actually created yet properly. Your character sort of closes a car door, and then the character selection, the way that the character creation tool
is the reflection of on the window.
Yeah, really interesting the way that they did that. It's kind of I mean, kind of gimmicky, and I know that it's kind of almost a bit of a piss take, really, because of the way that there was an emphasis put on being able to close car doors. I really liked the sort of.
I think that was like a bit of a tongue in cheek,
little inside, but yeah, it was, and it was cool, and it was a memorable intro, and
definitely.
We're really enjoying this game. Whether it will remain relevant and memorable for months to come, I don't know, but I probably won't forget that intro. That's kind of going to stick with me because it's an interesting twist on the introduction to a game, especially a game that centers around sort of online. It's nice to have something memorable to get your teeth stuck into there. So it made me think, what other games have very memorable intros, buddy? So this is going to be a top 5 game intros. This is a subjective thing, of course. Games that we've played, and there may well be games with better intros that we haven't played, but
possibly.
So I've created this list. Now, I must stress that I picked this list and Ash did not. So he's more than welcome to disagree with what happens from here on out. But we shall see, for better or worse. Number 1 on my list of best video game intros, I've gone for Portal 2, buddy. Do you remember the intro to Portal 2?
Yeah, the room, and it just goes a bit mental. All the sides fall off, and then you go flying around, getting taken around the Aperture Science Lab, and you're like, what the fuck is going on?
This is
very cool.
This is Wheatley. He sort of wakes you up almost, and you're in some sort of weird room with shite, sort of horrible bits and bobs, and then he picks you up and you're clearly in some sort of almost like a cargo container, picks you up with a crane and starts battering you about. And I just thought it was a very memorable intro, quite funny as well. I think Stephen Merchant is a very Marmite sort of thing that he does there, and personally I was a huge fan. And yeah, very memorable introduction to a game, especially a game that was kind of already sort of iconic for having GLaDOS. I thought it was really clever the way they introduced a new character and almost made him instantly iconic from his ridiculous introduction. So,
very good.
So there we go with that. And number 2, let's talk about Uncharted, buddy, a game that we've both been playing a lot of recently, the old Uncharted trilogy. And this is Uncharted 2 Among Thieves. I've put this in there because I think that, well, for one thing, it's an incredibly strong introduction, whether that's in comparison to the first game, which probably isn't. Maybe that's got something to do with it, but this is Uncharted 2 Among Thieves when you regain consciousness hanging in a train car over a cliff in the snow. You've been shot. It's quite the baptism of fire, and you've got to climb your way out of this train carriage that's hanging over into a ravine. Yeah, just a very memorable introduction for me, buddy.
Compelling and rich. But yeah, it's very action-packed, and you're thinking, shit, I'm going to die. But obviously, you're not going to die. That'd be.
You're not going to die. You're Nathan Drake.
Exactly. There's like at least 2 more games after that.
And Thief's End, though, buddy. Thief's End. Does that mean he's going to die in the 4th one?
Maybe. Who knows?
Probably not.
Is he a thief?
He's always been a bit of a thief. Yeah.
Bit
of a mass murderer as well. Anyway, number 3. Number 3 on my list of video game intros, we have Half-Life, the original Half-Life, the monorail scene in the original Half-Life. This is the way that the game begins is you're in a train and it just drives you past loads of stuff. I'd imagine if a game did this these days, it probably wouldn't be very impressive, but at the time,
back then,
it was
amazing,
incredible. No one had done anything like that before, and it set the scene brilliantly. It also made you kind of feel like something terrible was going to happen at any moment, which it never really did. Just a very, very iconic introduction to a game, and set the scene really well. More so for the way that the game was going to play, in that you were like, okay, back in, was it 97 or 98, that game came out, and you were kind of like, okay, all bets are off here. This game could do anything now, because it's not playing by the rules of video games in this era which I live. So, yeah, there we go.
See, it's funny, like how you've said Portal 2 and Half-Life. Like, I would also say, like, the original Portal, the intro to that was very cool.
Yeah.
Just waking up and be like, oh shit, I'm in a box. What the fuck is this? And also the beginning to Half-Life 2 was very cool, coming in on the train and then going through all that stuff there, and then having what's his name break you out as he's dressed in one of the security guard uniform things.
Yeah,
it was like, whoa, what is going on? It was very, very cool.
Yeah, it's certainly Valve have got something there, haven't they? Because you could have had all 4 of those in there, and it would have been a very Valve heavy top 5 had I done so. But yes. You know how much I love Half-Life 2, and yeah, that could have.
But then, like, again, your next one, you could also have like the other games on that franchise.
Yes,
quite happily.
The next one I've gone for is BioShock. And this might be a little bit personal to me. I don't think so. I mean, yeah, you're right. You could have any of the BioShocks, but this one specifically, you start off, you're in a plane. There's a sort of narration going on, which is supposed to be you. You're looking through a box. You've got a picture, and you're smoking a fag, and then the plane hits turbulence, and then there's an explosion, and you're going down. What follows is a scene in which you're sort of struggling to get back up to the surface, having fallen into the ocean. And what followed was me staring at my television for a good 60 seconds, unaware of the fact the game had begun.
Just waiting. Yeah.
Because the graphics were so good when this came out that I presumed I was still in some sort of cutscene. I was bobbing up and down in the water. There were sort of chemical fires going either side. The plane was sinking in the distance. And I was just absolutely blown away. And I think this was a demo. There was a demo of this on the 360 when this game came out. And if I had been a little bit umming and ahhing about whether or not I was going to buy this, that all just melted away from that point onward.
Very good game.
So finally on my list, I have The Last of Us, and I presume that anyone listening to this has already played The Last of Us. If you haven't, then probably turn the volume down for about 2 minutes.
What, with the intro? Oh, yeah.
It's only the intro, but it's.
If you are going to play,
I would not want to spoil any minute of The Last of Us for anyone, so that's why I say that.
You've got 60 seconds starting now.
The Last of Us begins with Joel in his house with his young daughter before everything's kind of kicked off, and culminates in him desperately trying to get his daughter to safety, and his daughter literally dying in his arms. Which is
powerful stuff.
Just horrifying and affecting and brilliant, and bodes well for Uncharted 4 because of the sort of powerful storytelling that Naughty Dog are capable of. The Last of Us remains one of my favourite games of all time, and that's the first intro to a video game I've ever experienced where I genuinely felt vaguely emotional. Like, normally it's like, yeah, whatever, games don't do a cracking job of bringing emotions through.
I think that's the minute, buddy.
That's fair. Good. I think I got there. Yeah. I got there, buddy.
So, and that bit at the beginning of it when he gets the dildo up his
Snape
bum.
kills Dumbledore. Yeah.
That's amazing.
So there we go.
And that's The Last of Us.
That's the top 5 video game intros. We have Portal 2, Uncharted 2 Among Thieves, Half-Life, BioShock, and The Last of Us.
Nice.
And now it's time for Many Moons Ago.
Many moons ago.
Okay, buddy, so I'm strapped in to the time machine. What's the date set to? Where are we going to?
I've set the time machine's date to the 20th of March, 2006, buddy.
Ooh, 10 years ago.
A cool 10 years ago, which is terrifying if you think about it.
Very much so. Fuck me.
This is the 20th of March 2006, which saw the release of The Elder Scrolls Oblivion.
What a game.
This is a game I believe you have a full gamer score on the 360, and you also maxed out the DLC of as well, buddy. So you're kind of well placed to talk about this.
I played it a lot. I can't remember anything about it apart from one place where I would chase a guard around the top of a castle or something. It was like a circular place. I would shoot an arrow at him, and he would just chase me round and round. It was loads of fun.
I think this could have really been... It's kind of an outsider for my intros on the top 5, because if I remember correctly, this was an intro where you escaped a prison with Patrick Stewart. So that's kind of worth noting. That was something special as well.
Yeah, but the graphics were a bit janky, and the controls weren't great. I must say, it wasn't a smooth running game, but it was fucking massive, and you know, that's what we've come to get used to, or we've got used to with Bethesda games, buddy. That's why they get away with it.
Don't know, buddy. I thought those 5 voice actors did an excellent job of narrating those 3,000 characters. That was really good.
No, seriously, like, yeah, they you just reminded me about like Oblivion. They had the kind of not it was like an influence tree, or not a tree, but like a circle, and you could like threaten them, joke with them, like compliment them, and something else I can't remember, and like that way they would like you more or they would smile at you more, kind of thing. I totally forgot about that, and yeah, that was part of the game, buddy. I mean, where did that go?
I think it was the first time an open world blew me away in a console, to be honest. Like, the fact that I remember showing off my 360 fairly early on to people, and someone coming around and me saying, look at that mountain over there, and them sort of looking at it, and then walking over to and up the mountain and standing on top of the mountain and saying, now we're on top of the mountain, you know, like, that was kind of a big deal at the time. The day-night cycle, I remember being a big deal. I think it was the first game I bought with a day-night cycle, Oblivion. It was, yeah. And I know for a fact that you and Funk and PJ ploughed hundreds and hundreds of hours in and completely finished every single little thing on this game. I did not. I lost interest about, I don't know, I think probably only a third of the way in. There's a lot of stuff on Oblivion I've never seen, but
yeah, I
still recognise what a cracking game it was, and I kind of made up for that sort of slapdash approach when I got to Skyrim, to be honest. So
well played.
But yeah, I know you played a hell of a lot more than me, and you did all the guild stuff, didn't you, as well, like all the different bits?
Yeah, I had a lot of time on my hands being at uni and not really doing anything with my life at that point. So yeah, I played a lot, most days, for 6 hours.
Did you like clock out halfway through for lunch, buddy? You were like, okay.
Oh yeah.
Oh god,
to, you know.
I'm back on now. Fuck's sake.
Yeah, when I had my fag break at 10:30 in the morning, came back in,
like it,
had coffee. Yeah, it was good. Yeah, buddy. Elder Scrolls Oblivion, buddy. It was pretty much the first Elder Scrolls game that I really sunk my teeth into. Morrowind didn't really do it for me, but this one really did. It was ace.
I think Morrowind was a bit early for me. I was probably too young to get stuck into a game that had those sorts of adult values and stuff. Like the sort of pace of it, I was all about flashy graphics when Morrowind came out, and it didn't have them. So, but yeah, Oblivion was the first one that I really appreciated for sort of storytelling in a game. So
Gibbons, buddy.
So yeah, that's cool. The 20th of March 2006, which saw the release of Bethesda's Elder Scrolls game Oblivion.
Nice, buddy.
And now it's time for the JfG quiz.
Well, buddy, I'm very much looking forward to this.
some sort of cheeky quiz for you here, buddy. Worth noting to the listeners that you are with Babby now, of course.
I am added babby right now, so we'll see how this goes.
If you hear some weird sort of gurgling and babyish noises in the background, they aren't weird. It's a literal baby. So
it's an actual factual baby.
More than entitled to make those noises. So,
indeed.
So this is a quiz for you, buddy. I know you've been playing through Uncharted 3. I think quite a number of our listeners are actually been caning through the Nathan Drake collection recently, and this, for you, is an Uncharted quiz.
Fucking ace.
So here we go. I hope you find these questions to your liking. Question 1. In Uncharted, what does Drake find in the U-boat? Is it A, a diary, B, a map, or C, a dagger?
No idea. Where's this U-boat?
It's in the game. It's in the game Uncharted, buddy.
Oh, the first one?
Yeah.
I haven't played that for years.
That's not my problem, buddy. It's the Uncharted quiz.
I'm gonna go for A. He finds a whatever it was. Whatever A was.
A was a diary, B was a map, C was a dagger.
Yeah, going for A. It's a diary.
I'm afraid the answer was B, a map.
Fuck off.
Fair play. Question 2. In Uncharted 2...
Oh, okay.
How long was Nate stuck in a Turkish prison? Is it A, 3 months, B, 2 months, or C, 4 months?
Going with C, because I have no idea.
It's gone with C, 4 months. I'm afraid the answer was A, 3 months, buddy.
Oh, god damn it. Stupid Uncharted games.
Horrible questions. Question 3, buddy. In Uncharted 3, according to Salim of the Bedouins, who or what can be found in the city of Ubar?
Danger.
Is it A, Gollum, B, Efreet, or C, Jinn?
It's Jinn.
You go with C, Jinn.
Yes.
That's correct.
Why did you make that the easy one? Why not make the other ones easier? Why would you put Gollum in the game that I've literally just played?
Because Gollum doesn't just mean Gollum from Lord of the Rings. It's a it's a thing in loads of different laws.
No, denied.
Okay.
There can only be one.
Okay. Question 4. Question 4. What is the name of Elena's cameraman in Uncharted 2? Is it A, Jake, B, Jeff, or C, Nolan?
C, Nolan.
You sure?
No, I don't know. B, Jake. Was it Jake B?
B was Jeff. Do you want B?
Whatever, yeah, B Jeff.
That's correct.
Nailed it. I knew it was B Jake.
Yep. Old B Jake.
I'm all over this quiz. Ain't seen nothing yet.
You got 2. This is for 3 out of 5, buddy. Final
That's
question.
all I need.
In Uncharted 3,
Oh, here we go. I got this.
what is the name of the pub where our adventures begin?
Oh, fuck knows. I've played that like 4 times and I don't know.
Is it A, the Albion Inn,
I don't know.
B, the Pelican Inn,
Ooh.
or C, the Albatross Inn?
I mean, if it was a traditional pub, it would be called the Bull Inn or the Cock Inn.
Or the King's Arms?
The King's Arms or the Queen's Legs. That's what I'm going to go for... I think it was B, the Pelican. Was it? Was B Pelican?
B was Pelican.
I'm going to go for B.
That is the correct answer.
Yes. I win.
So you end up with 3 out of 5, buddy. And I've got to say, that's not too bad going. I did put this quiz together thinking about all the Uncharted games, but it is worth noting that you played 1 and 2 when they came out, which is some time ago.
And I haven't gone back to them yet since. That's fine.
Hopefully the listeners
Thanks,
will
buddy.
gain some enjoyment out of the fact that I went through the whole trilogy.
Probably. Well, more than me, I bet. This is a good quiz, though, buddy. Nicely done.
Not about you?
I'm going to probably do some sort of maybe Tom Clancy quiz. Should have done that last week. Maybe Tom Clancy or something. Who knows?
No, that could be good.
Yeah, really fuck you over.
Nice, like it.
That's how we do things.
So now it's time for Fuckwit Corner.
Backward corner with funk. Backward corner with funk. He's got some questions for funk.
Has he got some questions?
He sure does, buddy. Old Funk, he sure does. He says, big dick players. As reference to our 50th anniversary. But Funk says, when is the first community gaming night? And what are the votes for games to play?
Well, now that we can make events, I made one for yesterday, and the Division. So it was then. Yesterday being Tuesday, the launch day of the Division.
He did make a community event, which Funk completely ignored, and now
it's fine.
No, but it's a valid point that Funk makes, actually, buddy. Like, what are we going to play? What are we going to play with everyone? I suppose we need to almost set up some sort of poll or voting sort of thing or something or other.
Yeah, the issue is like trying to find where everyone can vote. I mean, the more than likely place to put what game people want to play is in the PS4 community. So I guess we put a question in there. What do you want to play? And see what people say, and like say what times is everyone available, or should we just say we're on at this time? If you can make it, that would be fantastic. I guess that's probably better, isn't it?
I think internationally speaking, obviously, in terms of the odds are that the majority of our foreign listeners, if you want to call them that, in different time zones would be in the States. So the later, if we're talking 9 p.m, then in theory, that's a time in which American listeners could get involved as well. But yeah, I think
that's true.
I think I agree with you. It's It's a case of doing it in the community. Come and join our community, by the way. Search the JFG podcast on your PlayStation and come and join the JFG podcast community, and then we can start sorting that out. As for when the next event will be, we will create an event for it, which will be showing up on that community. So, yeah, come get involved. Oh, hello.
Yeah, Gibbons, buddy. We'll sort it out. We'll do something this week. Obviously, the podcast goes up on Sunday, so hopefully you're listening to it as soon as, and you'll be able to check it out. But we'll try and make like a weekly thing. I think. I don't see why not. Should be good.
Definitely, buddy. Definitely.
I know that Tom Leftfoot Wombat has been asking about community game nights. He wants to get involved on the Division with us, so he is very much more than welcome, I would say.
I think Division would be good. I think some games that will allow more people, more bodies in, like Black Ops
definitely.
as well, would be a good one.
Yeah.
Possibly
GTA.
I would say
funny.
PES, but I think our American listeners possibly don't play soccer games, so we shall see.
But I think definitely GTA. Like just
GTA could be good.
Getting involved, doing some races and stuff. That'd be funny.
That could be cool. So next from Funk, he says, who's going to play Magic the Gathering with me? He's got this on his phone. Gook. Do any listeners fancy taking a run at me on mobile? Have it. So yes, if you want to play Funk on Magic, the mobile version, then pop him a message on the community, and I'm sure he will accommodate you with some geekishness.
Gibbons, buddy.
So finally from Funk, he says, 50 episodes is quite a milestone. Can you make some predictions for where we will be when the next 50 come around? What will gaming look like? How many more kids will Schley have had? He's like a feisty ferret. Will Parker be a full-time professional Tekken player? Will we all be doing Scooby-Doo cosplay?
So pretty much where we're going to be this time next year-ish. Gaming, will probably the PS4 will be the same, but we'll have PlayStation VR strapped to our faces, which should be a bit of a giggle. No, I'm not going to have any more kids. I'm at my max now, I would say.
He's at capacity. It's like Schley operates in fire teams. His kids are now a 3-man fire team, and he can't possibly have any more.
It's so true. I don't know about professional Tekken player for Parker.
Fucking Tekken, mate.
Yeah, shit game, but
terrible.
Don't want to master that. And Scooby-Doo cosplay, yeah, maybe. I'll probably be like balls deep in D&D, so I'll probably be in like some kind of elf's outfit or something, I guess. Definitely tights, at least.
That seems fair. I would imagine that I will be games testing. I reckon I'll be some sort of games tester. Ooh. Where I just keep playing the same level even though people have told me to stop, and I'm like, nah, don't really like these jaggies. I think that's what's going to be going on. I'm going to be obsessing over gaming worlds. But yeah, in a year's time, PlayStation will be the same, and I don't know what's going to be happening with VR. And
I mean, Microsoft are going to do something stupid, aren't they?
Microsoft are going to do something really fucking ridiculous at E3 this year. I think they've been taking a run up to that for some time. It's been a couple of E3 since they did something fucking dumb. I think you said
they're clearly testing the waters.
They are. They're like, what ridiculous thing can we announce? Mr. Spencer himself has been kind of shiting about.
Mr. Motherfucking Spencer.
Old Phil Motherfucking Spencer, mate. Sorry, I was saving the edit for you.
That's fine. I thought I'd put it in there just for, shits and giggles.
But yes, who knows? Who knows? What I can tell you is we're in it to win it, buddies, and we're not going anywhere. We will continue to release an episode a week unless we've got an incredibly good excuse like someone not being in the country. So
that's pretty much the only excuse.
Really. Last year, the only time we missed ones was where one of us literally wasn't in England. That's the way it worked.
And so. I even thought about Skyping on my phone.
As did I when I was in Budapest. I was like, I could probably ring back in. We could put something out. So yeah,
just hit the Wi-Fi tent and then go from there.
Gibbons. And now it's time for JfG correspondence.
I'm looking at this, buddy, and I feel, justified or vindicated or something. I don't know what the words are because I'm shit with words. Those kind of things. This is beautiful. Like a teapot.
Like a teapot. Yeah, things are taking off. We've got some messages from people who are listening to the podcast. PJ and Funk have been doing a fantastic job over the last 12 months of propping us up when no one was listening. And we're finally getting to the point where we're getting some regular questions, buddy, from people. So that's a beautiful thing.
It's awesome. So who have we got then this week, buddy?
So we've already heard from JJ because he sent us a cheeky tweet of his crushing trophy on the old Uncharted 3. But he's also sent us a little email this week, which he said it was fine for me to paraphrase. Don't think I need to, so we'll go with it here. Here we are. JJ says, I'm not a wizard, so my kids and work have kept me from really picking games back up until recently. I played a few FPS and sports games on PS2 and PS3. Picked up Battlefield 4 and started playing online, and it really got me back into games.
Nice.
Then with the launch of the PS4, I got into all different styles of games. I missed great franchises like BioShock, Mass Effect, and games like Skyrim, amongst many others. Are there any games I should go back and visit? I kinda hope not, because I can't be asked to plug my PS3 back in. But it would be great to know what with all the remasters coming out, if there's anything that I had missed. And also, is there anything that you've missed and that you wish that you had played?
I'm going to say no. Never go back. I'm always disappointed. It always looks shit. There are certain games that probably could justify a playthrough, but I don't know. I find it hard to play a game when it isn't up to the standards of today's game. That is definitely my own view on playing games for me. Even just the last generation of consoles, I guess. The problem is there's so many good games coming out these days, or maybe not good games, but there's so many games coming out now that they're going to keep you or me too busy. And like you say, you've got work and your kids and your time is precious. And I understand that when it comes down to gaming, that you have to be very selectful of what you have to play. And I don't know, I would just leave it as is and move on and just keep going for the latest and greatest stuff. If you feel like you're missing out on storylines and things like that, then YouTube's your best friend. Check out what's going on there, and you'll be able to pick up the story if you really need to. I tried to understand a bit of Metal Gear before playing was it Ground Zero, but I just gave up because it was nonsense.
It sure is.
But Yeah, indeed. But I wouldn't go back and play those games. I tried playing the first Metal Gear on like a PSX emulator, and I just couldn't do it. It was just too hard on my face, and it hurt my brain. But I don't know, with the likes of like PlayStation Now, is it the streaming service? I mean, yeah,
I think that's what muddies the waters, is the fact that you're in a situation where there's some PS Now stuff with backwards compatibility, and there's genuine backwards compatibility on 360.
Xbox One.
Well, yes, Xbox One, yeah.
Yeah, with
the 360, yeah. I know that JJ is a PlayStation gamer, so I know that he has access to PS Now. What I did when you sent this email to us was load up Metacritic and look at the sort of top 20 PS3 games that you may have missed, in terms of like the best stuff according to all the critics, most of which is like cross-platform. I suppose it comes down to whether you have access to a PC or not, really, because most of these games you could still play on PC, even a modest PC. Stuff like Skyrim, a sort of a 7-8-year-old PC would probably have a good crack at running that game.
I can run that on my tablet.
Yes, I think that proves my point.
I mean, like, it looks terrible and runs pretty bad, but it is playable. So yes,
but yeah, I mean, oddly, the highest rated PS3 game on Metacritic is GTA 4 with a 98, which is wildly inaccurate, because that game it was great, but it wasn't the best game ever made. But you got stuff on there like GTA's, which GTA 5 you had the chance to play. You don't need to play GTA 4. Uncharted 2 is the third highest rated game. Obviously, you have the option to play that because you're playing Nathan Drake. Batman Arkham City, Little Big Planet, Red Dead Redemption, The Last of Us. Most of these you've had the chance.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Red Dead's a good one. Mass Effect 3, that's another good one as well. To be honest, though, no, you haven't really missed very much at all. And I know that seems mental, because I think, to be honest, like, that console generation was just so long. But at the same time, like, there's just such a dearth of remasters. I mean, BioShock, personally speaking, if you missed BioShock completely, then yes, I would say go back and play BioShock. But I've a sneaking suspicion they're going to announce some sort of definitive collection at E3 this year. So probably just wait and hold out for those.
Yeah, I would say so.
But yeah, it's difficult, isn't it? I mean, we speak with some romance about games that we played like 6-7 years ago, but if we actually went back and played them now, we'd probably be disgusted by like the graphics.
Apart from Trials HD, that game will never get
timeless classic, of course.
Gibbons.
So yeah, no, I think you'll be pleased to hear that. No, I think you're good, mate, to be honest. You're probably all right. In terms of what I wished I'd played, probably Mass Effect would be the one, actually, because I played the original Mass Effect and I hated it. I thought it was clunky and horrible, and I never really gave it a proper chance. And now I'm in a position where Andromeda's coming out, people are excited, and I don't really know why. I missed a whole trilogy there just from dismissing it early doors. And yeah, I think if they were going to make one more sort of remaster collection, then that would be the one I'd be interested in playing, to be honest.
I can't really think of games that I've missed out on. I mean, like old games, like back in the day. Probably I would have liked to have got into the Metal Gear franchise, because it is massive and so many people love that, but maybe it just wasn't for me. I don't know. But yeah, Metal Gear. Nice.
So next we've got some stuff from PJ. And he says, other than witnessing the exceptional tea drinking moment, PJ is referring to a video I uploaded of me applauding an NPC character in The Division and about 10 people joining in. What other shenanigans have been going on in The Division? I don't know if we need to answer this, to be honest, because I think PJ's actually, as I turned my PlayStation off for recording, PJ loaded up The Division, so he's going to be playing this tonight, buddy.
Nice. The only thing that I would say is people have been doing a bit of trolling. So in the safe zones, like there's a single door where you can walk out. Yeah, people have just been going into that door and just doing some jumping jacks, so no one can get in or out.
There are problems. I saw some issues on launch night where you need to go and use a laptop to activate your agent, and I think the game is supposed to segregate people so there aren't too many people in a server, but I've seen some images of like 100 people standing in front of that laptop preventing other users from using it and stuff. So there's some bugs there, but yeah, no, it's I think it's really well rounded, and we're going to play a hell of a lot of it, and we'll be playing it with PJ on Friday, so it should be good.
Gibbons.
And PJ also says, if you didn't have a PES for me or a Trials for you, what would be your go-to game for when you only have a time for a short spot of gaming, buddy?
Oh, it's a tough one, buddy. Now, it would have to be whatever that game was I was on about, Reckless Racing 3 on Android.
You're still playing that, are you?
Yeah, still picking it up every now and again. It's great. Just for like having a little quick race, off we go. Tried making a video of it, but my tablet seemed to not like that. Well, no, it was fine trying to record it, but it recorded it in like landscape and only recorded half of the screen. I was like, oh, not landscape, whatever the other one is.
Portrait.
That one. Portrait, that one, yeah. I was like, oh, that's not good. But yeah, I'd say that. It's just nice, quick and easy, little... Yeah, simple game, buddy.
Fair play, buddy.
What about you?
Mine would be Injustice at the moment because, yeah, when I've got a few minutes, I'm like, oh, I'll have a fight. And actually, I think possibly fighting games are perfect for stealing a minute and playing a game. I also think COD, to be honest, is great for a 10-minute burst of gaming. But yeah, for me, it's Injustice.
Yeah, good shout.
At the moment, at least. So finally this week, we received a message from another podcast listener. This is Mel Gibson's Soul.
Cracking.
We all wondered where that had got to, so that's good stuff. He was asking the sort of question that we love, buddy. The sort of questions that, in honour of Philip Tolhurst and his Nazi dragon, we will call Tolhurstian. So this is a Tolhurstian question from Mel Gibson's Soul. It's probably a sentence no one's ever said in all of humanity. Mel Gibson's Soul says, "Why does one of my big toes have far more hair on it than the other?" He also chipped into the most said words debate, telling me that one of my most used words is literally, which he did in a decent British accent, considering he's an American, literally, which was quite special as well. But
it was a good one.
Wants to know why.
So yeah, I mean, why does one of his big toes have incredibly more hair than the other?
Well, I'll tell you why. I've done some research into this because I am a professional, and I can tell you right now that
we like to give health advice.
We do. That no human is symmetrical, and in fact, in the same way that you can get freckles and different growths on one side of your body and not the other, the same thing applies to hair follicles. And in fact, you just never know where you are with that sort of thing. And so there's nothing weird about it at all. In fact, you could easily get more follicles on one side of your body than the other. You are an asymmetrical being, and that is why you have more hair on one of your big toes than the other.
I was going to say because he shaved one of them.
I mean, did he message you and tell you that?
No, but I'm guessing that's what he's done.
That's the sort of speculation that's dangerous, buddy.
Okay. I'm asking, did he shave just one of them and not the other? I mean, that would be an instance where one toe would have far more hair than the other.
You're certainly welcome to ask the question. I would worry that he was asking us the question at all had he literally shaved one of his hairs. There's me using
Did
literally.
Did you shave his toe?
I'm just saying if he had shaved one of his toes.
No, but did you shave his toe?
I didn't, but if he had, I suspect he wouldn't be asking the question why.
Well, maybe someone's trimming it while he's asleep.
That's terrifying. It's a terrifying idea. Perhaps set up surveillance is the advice we can give you.
You could always do what we saw on the was it the PlayStation? What Playroom is it? The one where they streamed the video.
We were watching some horrible people on live from PlayStation this week, which is predominantly used via the is it the Playroom it's called, where you just and there's just horrible people on there just filming themselves and lots of people watching.
It's brilliant. But there was one person that used it as a security camera, and it was watch our house while we're away or something. So yeah, you could set up your PlayStation camera, stream it, and then people could just in case someone comes in and does trim your toe hair, we could catch them red-handed. I'll be part of that.
And if you're looking for a sentry to keep an eye on that video feed, then I'm your man, because I'm often up very late, and with the time difference, I can watch the bits that you can't watch. So if Mel Gibson's soul wants to get in touch and send me a link to a video of him live streaming his toe hair, then that's fine by me.
I don't know where that question went, but there we go.
I have nothing to say.
That happened.
Did I sing while in my youthful bloom? I'd carried to scaffold to meet my fatal doom.
So I think that'll about do us, buddy, for the 50th episode of the JfG podcast. How have you found things, and how is your babby?
Yeah, first of all, I would like to apologise if I haven't been myself. I've been a bit preoccupied with Babby jumping in and out of this. I successfully managed to stream half of this on YouTube. So I guess we might start doing that again every week. We don't have to put our faces on there. I could just put a logo and it would just be us talking, but we might have the option to put our faces on there as well. So yeah, if you want to listen to us on a Wednesday night, we normally start around 8 p.m. GMT. Yeah, I don't know what that is, PST or wherever, but quick Google, you'll be able to find out. And yeah, you could check us out live and be amazed at all the editing that we have to do.
We're usually pretty slick. We don't normally have to do very much at all, but you've had an absolute mare with your various children this evening.
Yeah, so I can only apologise. This is going on for 3 hours now, which is always fun. So I hope you've enjoyed it, but yeah, once again, my bad.
It's all good, buddy. It's all good. I think it's been fairly decent anyway. And yeah. So thank you very, very much for listening. You can find us at www.justforgamers.co.uk. We are at Facebook /the JfG podcast. Our Twitter is at the JfG podcast. We are on YouTube. If you search for the JfG podcast, you will find us. We're on SoundCloud /JustForGamers, and we're also on Google Plus if that is how you choose to live your life. Thank you very, very much for listening, and until next week, I have been Alex, he has been Ash.
Goodbye.
And have a cracking week, buddies. We'll catch you next time. Goodbye. You've been listening to the JfG podcast with Ash and me, Alex. To find out more, head to www.justforgamers.co.uk, Facebook/the JfG Podcast, or Twitter, where we are at the JfG Podcast. Episodes go live every Sunday, and if you could pop onto iTunes and write us a quick review, we would love every inch of you, even if you got old and fat. Thanks so much for listening, and we will catch you next time.